All right, family. Welcome, 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 welcome. As you come in, you know what to do. Hit the like, share, thumbs up, all that good stuff. As you come in, sometimes I see like 59, 60 people visiting my site, right? And you'll watch it after I'm done. And I don't see you guys like it. What's going on? Tell, tell me what is going on with that. I don't understand that. I don't like it. But a light don't cost you anything. You can I don't know what's going on in my throat here. Hold on. So a light don't cost us nothing. I'm trying something new, my little new look, you guys. I hope it's not too much. You know me, I'm kind of plain Jane, right? But I thought I'd try something a little different today. So we'll see. We'll see. And I hope everybody's having a good day today. It's a nice, relaxing day. I was on a live earlier, you guys. I'm in this group. Toe Ministries is in this group. Has a group, right? And I think some people that he's on with, and they had a really amazing Zoom link, Zoom live today, and they went into the Zoom and they was talking about, and this called the quest to the QUEST, the number 2, Unite Africa, and it was like a collaboration, right? And it was today at 11 o'clock, right? So I was on that, and I'm telling you guys, Covenant Awakening, if you want to ask any questions or want more information about this group, right? And this group is a group that's telling us how to repatriate back to Africa, and they're getting land and they're helping people to understand the concept and what's going on. And as far as storage containers, if you want to, take a lot of stuff with you, you want to take your vehicles, they're doing, welcome Isaac. They are talking about repatriation back to Africa. And this group, the main person, his website, just in case you want his email and you want to ask more questions about it, is Covenant, COVENANTAWAKENINGS @gmail.com. And that's in case you might want some information about the website, want more information about repatriation for the ones that, you kind of think you want to go, but you're not sure. You can just, write them and ask questions. They're really doing, it, getting to where they are really talking about the move back to Africa. And I was on the Zoom and I had my husband kind of listening because, you already know the plan. And I want him to understand the plan as far as what we're trying to do. Because, we're trying to retire there. And, we have land and trying to build something. But I think this will be a great, and if you guys want more information, if you just write, I'm trying to see, how did I get the website? What was the website called? Hold on. Covenant Awakening. Trying to see if I can compose Covenant. Okay, the Covenant. Okay, this is the email in case you might want to get more information. It's Covenant, okay, Awakenings with an S @gmail.com. That's if you want more information. If you're thinking about, repatriation back to Africa, you can do that. And I think they have some really great information. They had a website. I think it's Quest to Africa. It's QUEST, the number 2, Unite Africa.org. I think. I don't know. I think it's something like that. But yeah, so they were on a Zoom, and the Zoom lasted maybe about an hour and a half. And it was really super interesting because it was putting some things in place. This group has only been together for like 20 days, but I'm telling you, they have tons and tons of people already wanting information, because I'm telling you guys, it's going to get really super bad here. And if you stay here, you are not going to make it. I'm telling you, especially if you have not already like saved up water, food and all this other stuff, you're not gonna make it. And especially the ones y'all mix with them white folk and y'all mix and mingling with them devils, y'all gonna die. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to scare nobody. I don't care what you believe me or not. It's up to you. You don't have to believe. You just stay here and see. Seriously, because I ain't got time to beg y'all to do what I know I'm supposed to do. So, you may not be led to do that, but I know I am. But that's why I've been going so much. Getting ready to go to Costa Rica in September. We're just gonna look, and then gonna go back to Africa I'm thinking March, February, March. Okay. So just, you know, kind of throwing some stuff out there, not wanting, you know, this is, you know, this may not be something that you want to do, which is fine. That's cool and dandy. But if it is, that would be a good group. And then Mark Meets Africa also. He's doing some great stuff also. If you guys are hooked up with Mark Meets Africa, I've been communicating with him. He's getting a little community together, and I got a guy that I met in Tanzania, and he's trying to do a little coffee thing. And I bought the coffee, and I told him, I said, hook up with Mark, and that way he can have like a little coffee tea stand there, you know, just trying to recreate businesses and stuff. And so we'll see where that goes. You know, I told you I'm always it's always about me. I'm looking for businesses to invest in that I don't have to run, so I could just, you know, get my little 10% or 20% or 25% or whatever, and then they just continue on with their business because that's their dream. I don't mind helping you to get established, but you got to know something about business. We got to talk. We got to have a chat because I'm not into wasting my money because I do expect some type of return. You know what I'm saying? So I figured if I got, you know, maybe about 10 little businesses over there in Africa, you know, with my retirement, I should do pretty good. What y'all think? I'm just saying. It's always about making some money. It's always about eating for another, you know, living to see another day. And it's all about eating, right? I want to show you guys this. You guys already know we're going to talk about CRT. We're going to talk about this week and next week too. And hopefully next week we'll get it finished. But I had to really understand this CRT. I told you it's all about the system. And they really trying to cover up the system. But they're making laws, not for us, for them, because we're going to be done. We're going to be out of America. And you have to understand what's going on right now. God's got to make this thing so bad for black folk that you want to leave. And that's what he's doing right now. Just like our young brother that got shot. He was 16, got shot in the head. His family talking, oh, he's doing better. He's doing fine. That boy's probably going through PTSD and everything else. So he's not fine. I don't know why folk lie like that because he's not doing fine. I don't care what you say. You tell that lie to somebody else. That boy probably got PTSD and everything else. I want to show you a video that was sent to me. And I'm telling you, this video was amazing. And I just want you guys to hear some of the stuff that was set up. It has been set up against us. Okay. And it was set up for a reason. So let me see if I can get you guys, to see it. Hold on, let me see. I ain't trying. Oh man, I wonder if I could. You know what? Hold on, I'm gonna have to turn my headset off because I think I have that in my settings. Hold on, y'all. You know how I roll. You know, look, y'all gonna bear with me today. Y'all bear with Cassie today. Okay, let me try it now. Okay, I think you should be able to hear it. I turned it off. Okay, here we go.
I find that a good way to help people who have a different lived experience than you exercise empathy for the struggles that you face that they may not be familiar with is to help them understand. And I was hoping that you could help me understand what anti-white race looks like. Can you tell me about how you don't know where your ancestors came from because they were kidnapped and enslaved? Or how you don't know what languages they spoke, what spiritual practices they had, or what traditional knowledge that should have been your birthright was lost? Not because they were allowed to and wanted to assimilate, but because their enslavers or residential schools forced them to assimilate. Can you tell me about how your ancestors had explosives tied to them while they were building the United States railroads? And then as a show of appreciation, they were excluded from society for nearly 60 years? And could you tell me about the hundreds of towns that were destroyed, like the Black towns and Chinatowns and Japan towns, all destroyed by the same demographic? Can you tell me about the children who were unalived because they whistled at a woman or because they floated in a lake a little too far past the segregation line? And can you tell me how it was for your parents and your grandparents to be United States citizens who were put in internment camps on United States soil? Can you tell me how it was for your family to live in the back of their store because people who look like you were not allowed to purchase or rent homes? And could you tell me how it was for your parents and for you to shed blood, to be treated as human, as equal, and to be allowed to simply share the same space as other people? Can you tell me about the conversations that you have to have with your children about police interactions? And could you tell me about how your mother and your sisters and your daughters are concerned about having children because of lack of equitable access to healthcare, because doctors were told that people who look like you can't feel pain? Can you tell me how it feels to know that your ancestors lived here for thousands of years, but when you try to come here, you and your children are put in cages? And can you tell me how it felt when a few years ago the president entertained having people who look like you expelled from the country again? Can you tell me what anti-white racism looks like beyond having your feelings hurt, feeling uncomfortable, and having your sense of superiority challenged? And when you're done telling me what anti-white racism feels like for you, could you please tell me why you're not fighting to end racism for everybody?
Okay, hold on, you guys. I want you guys to understand something, right? You got this, I seem to, I understand what she's saying. And she also talks about how our government went to, you remember how we can't get loans in our neighborhoods for our own businesses, but the government went to China and told them to come over here to put businesses in the black neighborhoods. They were told that they could not do it in the white neighborhoods. They had to do it in the black neighborhoods. You have to understand a lot of stuff what America's going through right now, you guys, is a lot of judgment, okay, for stuff that they've done that we didn't even understand. We were just here trying to live, just trying to be black and live safely. Welcome, Bakari and Bitter Medicine. Welcome. But we have to understand everything that they've set up now is coming out, right? It's coming out. And I want to finish playing this, but I also want to, get into the CRT thing too. But it's just, I have an issue with people trying to speak for us. I've seen a white girl also. She was speaking this week, and I don't think she has a right to speak to us. I think she needs to be speaking to her own people. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this Asian girl, Chinese girl, whatever you want to call her, she's talking to white folk that's that have said stuff on her post, right? And I went into her little TikTok just to see what she was talking about, and it's just so amazing because she's really talking to white people about their stuff. You know what I'm saying? The issues that they have with black folk and Chinese people. But I want to get into that. Do they have a right to speak for us? The little white girl that I seen that was speaking on she was talking about black folk, this, how hard it was for us, but she was talking to black people. We know that. We don't need you to talk to us. Forecast welcome. We don't need you to talk to us. We need you to talk to your people. Okay. So I have an issue when white folk come on here and try to talk to black people about what was done to us and how things, we already know. We don't need you coming on here trying to tell us how hard it is to be black. You ain't never been black. You can't even speak for us. You shouldn't even talk about being black or have a conversation with black folk about being black. And you got black folk that'll sit there and go, oh yeah, agreeing with this crazy woman. And I'm like, why are y'all sitting there listening to her? She's not telling you nothing that you don't have an experience. She's not telling you anything that you don't know. But it just seemed like when it come out of somebody that don't look like my mouth, oh, you got the whole crowd. You got 1,000 members. You know what I'm saying? But let Cassie come on there. Let Forecast come on there. Let Bakari come on there. We got 5, 10, 15 people, maybe, maybe 60 looks or whatever. But this whole white girl came on there, and Go Black had talked to her a little bit about her. And she was really actually talking to us about the hardship that we had. She needs to go and talk to her own people. Forecast. No, go talk to them. She needs to shut up talking to us. You're right. And it kind of bothered me because you had black folk that were sitting up there saying, oh yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. I get really bothered when I see black folk who agree with white folk talking points when they, you over there or they come over here and they talking, right? And they try to tell us how hard it is to be black. Well, how you know? Tell me how you know. Tell me, you can only talk about it because you either seen it, okay? You've not experienced it, so you don't know how it feels. It's almost like me looking at a strawberry and trying to tell somebody what a strawberry tastes like. I don't know if I've never tasted it and I've just seen strawberries. Sankara, welcome. If I've only seen a strawberry, but I've not tasted it, I can't tell you what it tastes like, right? So that's what it looks like. It feels like to me that she's coming here trying to tell black folk, how it is to be black. Nope, you got the wrong demographics. And that's what I wanted to say. I'm like, nope, you got the wrong demographics. You go over there, you talk to white folk and tell the white folk about it, okay? But it bothers me when they try to come over here and talk to us about their stuff. I don't understand it. I don't get it, okay? but I wanted to continue on just a little bit. And I just want you guys to let me know what y'all think of what she got to say. This is so stupid. I hate this. Okay, just a little bit more.
Very educative
Hold
and
on.
very entertaining because you guys,
Hold
she's
on.
always stating facts. She is savage. The things that she says, she's very smart and she is telling it as it is. So this lady is Asian, as you guys can
Hold on, you
see.
guys. I
And the
wanted
kind
her
of
to get
videos
done
she posts
talking.
on TikTok are videos that are dedicated to dismantling white supremacy, especially as it relates
Oh,
to
Lord. I'm trying to
people
get her
of
to
color
get done
and
talking.
her trying to kind of bridge the gap between Asian people and Black people because of the racial tension that have been created by white people by using Asians against Blacks. I don't know if that makes sense,
Hold
but
on, you
anyway, she
guys.
explains it better. So today's video is going to include a thread of
Obviously, the issue of Asian American owned businesses operating in Black communities is a huge source of tension because it is part of the daily violence faced by Black people in their own communities when they are disrespected as customers, to the literal physical violence, as was the case of the salon in Brooklyn, where a Black woman was locked into the salon by workers while they beat her with broomsticks, to the damage done to the psyches of particularly Black children when they are accused of shoplifting. And this isn't a topic that I'm going to be able to cover in one video, but it is a conversation that I do want to start. I think that if you ask some people what was the source of the tension, they'll say the LA riots and what happened in Koreatown, but you cannot mention the LA riots without recognizing the unaliving of Latasha Harlins the year before. A 15-year-old girl who was unalived by an Asian shop owner who thought that she was shoplifting orange juice, but the money to pay for the orange juice was in her hand when she was unalived.
And we all know that her Asian whatever got away with that, right?
To value profit and property over Black bodies, which is at the root of the United States system and capitalism. But I think that we have to go all the way back to the Civil Rights Amendment of 1964 and then the opening of Asian immigration in 1965. So in 1964, white power structure almost faced accountability to Black people. Black people should have started to be able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. But instead, in 1965, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration, and redlining meant that Asian Americans were receiving business loans, but only to open businesses in Black communities, and Black people were still not receiving loans to open businesses in their own communities. So where you have this weaponized positionality of Asian Americans being put in Black people's way, of course you are going to have resentment not only over the supplanted opportunity to open businesses in their communities, but also over the fact that the Black dollar is now being paid out twice. Once when the customer pays for the goods or services, and then again when the Asian business owner removes that wealth from the Black community. And I frequently heard the tension being framed as mutual misunderstanding, where these Asian shop owners didn't know about the civil rights struggles of Black people, and Black people were not familiar with the culture of Asian business owners. But I don't think that it can be framed as mutual misunderstanding where there is an uneven power dynamic. You have one demographic that is the business owners, and you have the other demographic that is having to pay. So where there is uneven power, I don't think that it's accurate to frame it as mutual misunderstanding. Yes, this is really important. Asian Americans were redlined from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people didn't want Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress Black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in Black communities, even though Black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. Thank you for setting me up to talk about this.
You know what? Okay.
That you and many
she goes on and on, right? What do you think about her speaking? What do you think about this? Tuco, welcome. What do you guys think about? They always want to come and talk for us. And we as Black people, we go, oh my God, she's speaking facts. Is she telling us, pro-Black welcome, is she telling us anything that we don't already know? We already know. Just what you're saying. We know that Asians came into our neighborhoods, but I didn't know our government did a beck and call for them to come. Hey, y'all come over here. You can't come in the white neighborhoods, but you can come in the Black neighborhoods. You get a little bit of their wealth, okay? We're not going to get them businesses. We're going to set you up, blah, blah, blah. But see, America should know better by now because they set China up, right? They took jobs from us, sent them to China. Now, China is not a third world country. Who remembers when China was this third world country? Remember when China was a third world country? I mean, China was doing real bad, right? And they said, what we going to do? What did they say? We said we can come and beat America, not through the military, but we can get them financially, right? So America shipped all of the jobs over to China so that black folk wouldn't have work, right? But guess what's happening now? China getting ready to bite them in it, okay? Getting ready to bite them in the booty, right? I'm just saying. But see, everything they do to us comes back to them, right? But see, we don't understand that. She should be in China. Exactly. Forecast says she should be in Chinatown making this speech. What is she doing to help open black businesses in their areas? Exactly. So when I see this, it bothers me because not enough black people. We go, oh my God, we just run, and oh my God, she's really, saying she's not telling you anything that we don't already know, and that's what bothers me. Because I'm like, dude, we know this. You ain't telling us nothing we don't know. You need to tell your own people that. Grandma, welcome. Now, like and share. I'm going to put the link out there. But it bothers me when we have other people trying to talk for us. I'm not even going to pull the one, you know what, I'm going to find it, where the little white girl had something to say. But, it just, you know what, I just want to stay focused here. I ain't going to do it all because Go Black had her up on his channel, about the little white girl who had so much to say about black folk, and black folk was just like, oh my God, going head over heels for this white girl because she was speaking for black people. I don't think you have a right to speak for black people. I think you have a right to speak for your own, but not anything never for us. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to pull her up if I can, because it bothers me when they do this. I literally hate this. I hate it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find her or not, but she was on. Man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find her, you guys. Maybe not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find her. Okay, but that's okay. I know she was on Go Black to Africa's channel, right? And he had her on there, and I'm like, man, I hate that because sometimes I hate when, hold on, I'm trying to see. Hold on, y'all. I may just do it later. Wait a minute, but did you guys hear? I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to my point, right? But did you guys hear about the white man who said slavery was good for black people? I'm sorry, y'all. He said slavery was good for black folk, right? I'm like, no. If y'all hadn't came over to Africa, because every time America put their hands on something, they destroyed, right? But he wanted us to believe that that black folk here had it good, and it was a good thing that we moved here and not stayed in Africa, because we wouldn't have done any. It was better for us to be here. I want to just show you a little bit about this. Help me out, y'all. Just help me. Just a little bit about this. Here it is.
A man or woman should never be afraid for their life, for getting pulled over, for speeding. Come on, but I have never lived in that fear. Come on. No black man or woman should ever be reluctant to walk outside for fear of racial profiling. But I have never been racially profiled. No black man or woman should ever expect to go to jail in their lifetime because of the color of their skin. But I have never lived in that expectancy. And this is why I don't believe in the phrase, I don't see color.
Does she have a right? Does she have a right? And does black folk have a right to sit up there and listen to her? See, we give them a seat at the table, right? I want you to hear one more thing.
History of the world in a way so dramatic that it's absolutely impossible to say which individuals today would end up worse or better in this alternate universe. I mean, if you go back in time and get rid of slavery from the entire world, You have just, it's impossible to say what the world looks like right now. Actually, what we can say is that we'd all end up worse. All of us today would be in a worse spot if slavery never existed at all across the entire globe.
Do you believe that? He said, hold on, I just want, hold on. I'll make sure I'm going back enough. Hold on.
You might offer the rebuttal.
Hold on.
And they would be.
Hold on.
Say such a thing. Understand why he would say such a thing.
African country, anyone asking for reparations would prefer to live in. The answer, of course, is none of them. Now, you might offer the rebuttal that if slavery never existed, if we're reimagining history without that institution at all, then Africa itself would be in a better shape, better place, and better shape, and maybe indeed Black Americans would be better off there. But this seems highly unlikely. Okay, he says it seems highly unlikely that we would be better off. He fails to realize his history that we were kings and queens, right? Oh, Sinkar, here we go. Hold on, let me bring you on in here. How you doing? Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good, Goddess. Sorry.
I'm good. I am so, man, what you got to say? What you got to tell me? Just tell me something. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, with the girl, you were asking why should we allow them to speak for us, and why is it that we do allow that? Black folks are addicted to concession mindset. We want concessions and we want affirmation from white folks. So it feels good to a lot of our people to hear white people or other non-blacks say things that we've been saying, because they think that the more of them that understand us, they're going to change our situation for us. That's what they really think. The more of them that start understanding, the more chance things will change. And this is a sickness, and it's sad. And I think that they need to understand that the only way things are going to change is if we change it. Now, I think that most people, Black people and white people, they don't say it openly, but I think that they believe what the white man was saying, that slavery helped Black people and helped white people, or help Black people as well as white people. I think most people believe that. They're just not going to say it openly. I think that a lot of people really think that. He just said it openly, and everybody's mad, but that's what most people think. That's just my opinion. They don't look at it like what's his name, John Henrik Clark, I think it was. He said that if you look at the beginning of your history as slavery, then everything else after that will look like or appear to be progress. They don't understand if or how much we were in a better position before slavery, because they don't have information on that. They just assume because we're able to get cars and be able to have some type of benefit as far as existing in the West, that's better than what we would have had, and they don't understand we used to own our own resources. We used to be able to have whole nations flourish by our own, means. We don't have that now.
But like he said, he really does believe what he's saying, because they don't know our history. They don't know we were kings and queens in Africa. They don't know that before America touches anything, we flourished, right? Before we allowed them to come, before we allowed them to mix and mingle, before we allowed them on the continent, Africa was flourishing. Haiti was flourishing. We see what happened to Haiti when Clinton got in office. Haiti went to hell. But they fail to realize, and this, and you have to understand, this is what that CRT is all about. I want to hook it all together. You have to understand CRT, and that's what we're going to talk about a little later, is all about their system that they've set up against us, and they don't want that exposed, because if they expose it, but everything now is coming to light. Every doggone negative, nothing thing that they ever did to Black people is coming to light right now. So it's a lot of stuff that they did under the table Black folk wasn't even thinking about. We knew the system was jacked up, but now we really know. And now white folk gonna know. And now the whole world is gonna know, because everybody's watching America now. Because America has so much stuff in their backyard, and they trying to go to all these different countries trying to tell, hey, you need to straighten up your backyard. And they looking at America and say, you have no room to talk, get out, which is good. But do they have a right to speak for us? What do you think?
No, no, they don't have a right. But the problem is our people give them that right. No other, like we can't speak for any other people,
Right.
but we're the only people on earth that allow other people to, come in and be our spokesman. It's crazy as hell.
We allow them to come in and be our peons. They can come in. Welcome, 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 Wild Williams. Welcome. They want to come in and tell us our problem on being black, where we falling short. But it's the system. You have to understand. Just like they'll say, oh, you'll hear like Candace Owen. Even with Candace Owen, I have an issue with her because she'll talk about different, like herself and Oprah and Obama and a lot of other white folk talk about them because just a few that have made it, and they go, well, see, they've made it. I'm like, dude, that's what, 5 people, okay, out of millions. So tell me, what's the millions? What's the other? What's that millions problem? If you're telling me that, okay, these 5 have made it, but the whole other million have not. So what's the problem? What's the common denominator? Why is it that they are and the other millions are not? We have to understand it comes back to the system that they've set up. Just like they said, okay, we're gonna get the Japans, the Asians, we're gonna give them a hate crime bill. We're gonna give them loans. We're gonna let them go into the black communities. But they stopped us every time I tried to get a bank loan for a business. I couldn't get it. I don't know about anybody else. And then people look at us and say, well, why are you behind? Why are you down? Why are you in the mud? Why you haven't, gotten up? Why you haven't pulled yourself up out of bootstraps? And I'm like, looking at them like, you don't understand the system. You don't see the system. But do they not recognize the system? Are they not recognizing the system? Do they not know? Do you think they don't know that it's a system that was set up against us? What do you think they're thinking?
They kill me with that. Whenever I get comments like that, I always respond by saying, okay, what bootstraps do you have? You got 300 years of free labor. You got
Uh,
all kinds of, land and all kinds of loans, business, all kinds of legs up
yeah.
that we didn't get. So you guys didn't work hard to get what you have either. So you can't, who are you to tell us what we need to do as far as working hard when y'all ain't done a goddamn thing?
I know, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you guys, they really think they worked hard. Did you see what the Mexicans now are saying that they built America? I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Everybody is
that was
this.
horrible.
I'm like, what? But we say nothing. Soul Journey, welcome. But we say nothing. Why aren't we saying? Why aren't we speaking up? When different people come, we just let them say whatever they want. We let them do whatever they want in our community, and we never correct them. We never say, "Whoa, hold on." That we never do that. Why? What is going to help me to understand what is going on with Black folk? I'm just not understanding. I don't get it. I wish I could, but I don't.
Yeah, we don't have the loyalty to our own interests that other people's do.
Well, I wish we did. I
We
wish we
want to be
did.
included. We want to be included in what everybody else is doing, and to be included, you have to get along, go along to get along, and be friendly so that we can be included. And you don't want division because then you'll be out alone in the corner somewhere by yourself, and that's what blacks are afraid of. The other day, somebody was telling me back to what you were saying about the when people speak for us. That's part of control and a continuation of oppression.
Yes.
Somebody was telling me the other day that they were in their community, a white community, and they were part of a board that's discussing how there could be more division. I'm sorry, more inclusion in racial inclusion and racial harmony in that community, and they were upset because some of the uh, solutions white folks were saying were, oh, okay, well, more police and getting along with police and all these different things instead of empowerment. Because to them, the solution to us getting along with society is to make sure you keep those in power and be able to move accordingly without making any waves. Stay controlled. That's what they're going to want. So that's why they always put people that have that type of angle in front of us to try to lead us. So it's very and black, a lot of our people don't, we haven't been hip to that's what they're really trying to do. It's control. They don't want us to come to power. They want to stay in power, and they don't want us to wake up and do something for ourselves, because then we can't be exploited at that point.
You're right. You're right. Quest Man, Soul Journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's your thoughts? How you doing? Welcome, bro.
Peace and blessings. I appreciate the opportunity. Well, I want to say first of all, I want to give a salute to the brother Sankara up here and yourself and the brothers and sisters in the chat. I would say that my perspective would be, how they have that back in the days when I was a little child, they used to give me this bracelet, in some communities that had said WDMG, right? You remember that? The WDMG, I guess it meant,
Yes.
what would Jesus do?
Yes.
Well, in this case, it would be WWMD, like what would Marcus do? Or what would Malcolm do? Something of this sort. So what would Khalid do? And if you look at things from that perspective, there's roads that are clear that they would never take. They would never pacify. They would never take the road that would panhandle to the non-melanated. You understand? They would never take that road. It wouldn't even look. I'm gonna say it this way: they would have the mindset that anything in that route is completely irrelevant. If you look to our success, we don't need any permissions, any authorizations, any assistance. Nothing. That's the mindset we have to get. We don't need the fact that we have to keep referring and regarding them and somehow involving them in this conversation as to how we respond. If they don't want in their public system, education system, facts that are relevant to us, so be it. Why do I care? Guess what's going to happen in my household? Guess how my children are going to be taught? And anybody that's of one accord in that same community, guess how they're going to be taught? So let them do what they do. Why keep giving them a sense of authority over us? You understand? So what would Malcolm do? What would these brothers do? They would not have anything to do with that. If you look in the global scale right now, 'tis be the season. Look at the break away from the American dollar. 'Tis be the season. Look at new horizons when it comes to the financial institutions. You understand? And look at the way brothers and sisters abroad are moving. And I think we need to get on that wave. You understand? I'm talking about the intelligence. I'm not talking about Klingons and people who don't have a clue. I'm talking about people of an intellectual sort. They're making moves that are breaking away. Countries that you didn't even know were still existing are popping back up like, we might as well go ahead and sign up over there too. Let's go ahead and sign. Where do we sign? We want a part of this brick moment as well. So what my point is that that's the mindset to have. The more you start making this devil irrelevant, the more the devil's irrelevancy becomes clear, and he has nothing more than a whisper at his power. Nothing more than a whisper. That's all he's capable of doing. Most of the drama that we have today, if you look in this land and abroad, most of it, they were able to get off their shenanigans, their murder charades, all their escapades from whispering slander, whispering rumors, and people buy on to it because for some reason we keep believing that these people have our mindset and they don't. That they have our interest at heart and they don't. And it only makes sense if and I don't want to, I know this is, I'm just kind of busted in here like, but our mindset, they don't have our mindset at heart, right? They don't have our interest at heart. You have, when you understand the natures of things, when you understand the natures of how the brain works, the anatomy of being melanated and the absence thereof, all of those things, these are all factors. So anyway, that's a scientific level. My point here is regarding, the title right hand CRTs, that's their thing. Let them have at it. Let them do, if you want to go beach balling, whatever you want to do, go to Disneyland, whatever. You want to vote for this guy, vote for that. That's your stuff. We need to have this mindset. It don't matter. Look, I think one of the things we fear is that, the people who are about unity is such a small body. So what? You look at the small islands and island communities. Look at the small, like Haiti and some of the what they call West Indies islands, small communities. Those amongst us in the United States are more numerous than some of these islands. I'm talking about the brothers and sisters who are about this unity stuff. There's more of us than could fit on one of those islands. So there's enough. There's enough. Stop believing that we don't have the numbers, that we don't have what it takes. We have intellect. All you have to do is scroll on YouTube. You see geniuses, historians, scholars, scientists, doctors. We got that. You see people who are owning land, who are horticulturalists, agriculturalists. You name it. We got every single facet you can think of. Even if you look on the tech field, we got some stuff coming out there. Brothers making all kinds of new advanced technologies. And guess what? Even if we didn't have that, I've already seen footage of brothers and sisters who make something out of nothing, out of a wheelbarrow and a piece of rope or something. You understand? Next thing you know, my point is, we've got to stop believing that we need them for authentication, that we need them for authorization, that we need them for any type of validation for the moves we need to make for ourselves. We need to get to the point of having a conversation where they're completely irrelevant, where they're not even a factor. Oh, you're on the same planet too? I didn't know. My bad. You in here too? Oh, that's okay. My bad. I didn't know the sun was too bright. I didn't know you were able to come out at this time of day without suffering. I didn't know. But okay, there's that.
I love it. I love it though. And you're right. You're right. We give them too much power. And I do believe that there's enough. And I do believe that we have to start somewhere. And that is a problem. Everybody is waiting for somebody else to start the movement. And I do believe it needs to be a movement, because you can't kill a movement. You can kill an activist, you can kill a leader, but you can't kill a global movement. And I think everybody else is waiting for the next person. And I'm like, hey, let's get the think tanks going now. The like-minded people, hey, we meet up on a Zoom and we move forward from there. But we have to start somewhere. And let's stop waiting for the next person, because if everybody is doing their part, and you're doing your part, I'm doing my part, Sankara, I don't know why, Sankara is doing his part, and Forecast, if everybody is doing their part, then guess what? We create a whole circle. And then the others will follow. But we have to start somewhere and quit waiting for other people, like you said. But I want to talk a little more. I want to play this video, because I really want to get into the CRT. We've been in this thing. We talked about it last week. We want to talk a little bit more about it this week. I want to know the big hassle. What is the big deal about the CRT? I'm gonna play one more video here, and let me see if I can do. I am going to share my screen. Y'all bear with me here, and let's see if I can do it like this. Okay, I'm gonna go up here. Y'all bear with me. There it is, and let's play this. Let me talk about this young woman.
Critical race theory, or CRT, isn't a new framework or way of thinking, but it has received renewed attention.
Can you guys hear?
Across the United States. CRT exactly, and why is it producing such a strong reaction state? So much that some lawmakers are pushing to ban teaching it in schools. Let's find out why race matters when it comes to history.
Can you guys hear it?
Racism and education.
Try to refresh it. Press that refresh button on there. On the
okay,
YouTube,
hold on. Let me see if I can do that. On the YouTube. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
let's see if I can do that. And I'll start it. Okay, there you go.
Sometimes that helps.
Okay.
The following program is a PBS Wisconsin original production.
Is that better?
Critical race theory, or CRT, isn't a new framework or way of thinking, but it has received renewed attention due to anti-CRT legislation created across the United States. So what is CRT exactly, And why is it producing such a strong reaction in some states? So much that some lawmakers are pushing to ban teaching it in schools. Let's find out why race matters when it comes to and education. Critical race theory, CRT, can be a controversial buzzword today, but that wasn't always the case. In fact, it isn't even a new concept. CRT dates back to the 1970s and 80s as a framework for legal analysis that was created by several legal scholars to suggest that race is a social construct and that racism is not merely individual bias or prejudice, but something embedded in systems, policies, and practices. CRT suggests that because racism is so deeply ingrained in the fabric of our nation, even well-intentioned decisions made by individuals can help to fuel racism. And for some, therein lies the perceived controversy, resulting in the creation of anti-CRT legislation. In Wisconsin, the legislature passed a bill in January 2022 that would limit the discussion of racism in K-12 classrooms, including any teaching that, quote, an individual, by virtue of that individual's race or sex, is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously. The bill was vetoed by Governor Tony Evers. Critics of anti-CRT legislation say that if America desires a more equitable future, then we must be willing to acknowledge the atrocities of the past and their influence on the present. National Academy of Education president and professor emerita at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings joins us to share more about the importance of CRT and its application in and outside of the classroom. So, Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do?
Well, I am Professor Emerita of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and that's just a fancy way of saying I'm retired, but I will confess I am failing at it. I am the world's worst retiree. I've been fascinated by the education of Black people in this country because it's such an incredible story. And so where I see inequities in that education, I always want to kind of probe it and explore it and try to make sense of it.
I appreciate you coming in to talk with us about a very important topic. For some, it's the topic when it comes to race right now, CRT.
Well, and I want to be clear that the context that we are in right now, on the heels of some horrific massacres of people, mostly people of color, and clearly the one in Buffalo being driven by racial hatred, it's very timely to talk about this particular topic. But rather just saying to someone, oh, I study critical race theory, or what do you know about critical race theory? I often start with the question, tell me how you explain racial inequality. Because I think the explanation that one has really kind of makes them, puts them in a context for understanding the world. So if your explanation is, well, people just need to work harder, millions of people need to work harder? I mean, think about it. If you start off by saying, well, there isn't any racial inequality, then I don't actually think I can have a debate with you because we don't see the world the same way. On almost every social benefit, whether it is health, wealth, education, employment, we can see racialized disparity. So how do we explain it? In a classroom with students, typically graduate students, I want to be clear, I would probably say something like, well, it's not as if we haven't had explanations. We have. From the time Black people arrived on these shores till about the mid-20th century, 1950s, our explanation was pretty much biogenetic. So ingrained in our thinking that many universities many colleges had departments and programs in eugenics. We said that was a science, that this group of people is biogenetically inferior. Now, I would imagine that a lot of thinking people did not buy into that well before the 1950s.
Hopefully.
But I use the mid-1950s as a marker because it's at this point that we have the Brown decision. And Brown is a landmark decision. Everybody knows Brown versus the Board of Education. However, from a critical race theory perspective, we don't see it merely as an education decision. We see it as a foreign policy decision, because you have to put the legal cases, the Supreme Court cases, in a broader context. 1954 is the heart of the Cold War.
I want to ask you a question. What do you think about what she's saying so far? Why did the conversations come back up now? It's been a conversation since the 70s, right? And then again in the 90s, and now 2023. Why now? What do you think, you guys? Why now?
Well, I think there's a wave right now, particularly with the left, of rhetoric that kind of echoes the civil rights movement. And they're trying to make their own movement politically for us. In other words, it's like they're trying to direct us how to fight in a way. It's like a Trojan horse to me, like Black Lives Matter. Because as long as you keep focusing on, well, we need white folks to teach us better. We need them to treat us better. We need them to do this for us. And it's still that concessions, begging, wanting something from, as long as we stay on that, they get to still perpetrate being in power over us. And we're supposed to be okay with that rather than have our own power. So I think that this whole thing, the critical race theory, I look at that like I said, the same thing with Black Lives Matter. I think that sometimes they use certain things, like I call it a Trojan horse, for their own purpose that's going to help white society, and it feels and looks like it's something to help us, but it has a different purpose.
Right.
A lot of those things are used to agitate the right. Now, what I've noticed is ever since this critical race theory stuff started, now the right in a lot of places, they have fought back and responded by cutting out all Black history type curriculum, period, because of critical race theory. Oh, they're doing this. Okay, so we're going to get rid of all of it. So I think that's what the purpose of that whole critical race theory is. I don't think it's anything that's supposed to really benefit us. And just me personally, again, I think it's very demeaning that at this stage in the game, Black people still expect to be taught truth or taught anything educational by white folks instead of teaching ourselves. Like, why do we even expect them to, start teaching? Oh, well, you should deal with. We need to teach that racism's bad to people, and they need to teach people in their schools to accept us. Why are we expecting them to do that at this stage in the game? It's kind of demeaning to me.
Right.
I suppose what I could add to that is for me, what I see out of any of this is what I've talked about in general, in my own circles, namely that this is just another first of all, let me explain that we're dealing with a state of decline of the state. You understand? So when you're dealing with a decline, that means all hands on deck. We got to save our ship. That's the mentality that they have. So they're pulling all cards out the deck. Any jokers, aces, whatever, get it all out there on the table, because they got to give their last fighting chance to hold on to their ropes of power. What these are here is like yokes on the necks of the melanated, the black people in the land. These are no more than ploys to check to see what kind of power they still have. You understand? Who do we still have control over? Who still looks up to us as their authorities? You understand? Who still resorts to us for their daily bread, right? Um, so it's like, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't really matter which party, because it's all part of one body, right hand versus left hand. If the right hand has been, smacking the community too hard, then everybody sways to the right, to the left hand. And if the left hand starts to get boring, then it's the right hand that starts to win the upper hand, but all for the same interest of the same body. In this situation, like you said, like the BLM movement, all these kind of things, these are, like, even when you think about how they publicize like the Juneteenth. Remember when they got them there and started publicizing the Juneteenth? These are their efforts to check in on us to see who of us is still, like, okay, yeah, see, we got our own holiday. See, we got them niggas over there. We got we got some right there. We still got the yoke on their neck. They're still chained up with us.
Right.
How about over here? Well, we need something in Tennessee. We losing control in Tennessee. I know what we could do. We could get their likeness to speak our voice, but manifest their likeness. They'll love it. They'll love it. You know how they felt about Barack Obama, right? They'll love this one. Let's go ahead, and they keep doing these moves to try to, and if you look at today's time, they're going overtime with this now. They're going in so many ways to try to get our attention and get our allegiance in the way that they believe we're familiar with. Many of us, if you look in today's society, many of us still have the mindset that we take these people as superior to us. You understand? We believe them to be superior. We believe that we can't do it without them. We believe that, like, what are we going to do? Or as somebody will say, like, well, what are we going to do? They're in control. They're in power. And we keep perpetuating the same mindset. And even the lady mentioned here in your the video here, you've got a body of people who don't even believe this is going on. Right. They've become so absorbed into the system that they don't even see the system they're in anymore. You understand? It's like osmosis. If you put bread and water, a piece of bread and water long enough, the bread will start to disappear. And you'll forget that there was ever bread in that glass of water to begin with. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how some of these people have become. They become absorbed into the mechanisms of the beast, if you would, that they don't even realize that the beast is, what the beast is, dangerous. Yeah, there we go.
But I do think that it's time for us to. This right here should make Black folk want to go out and educate their own. This should start that education, our own school movement. At some point, you're taking out the books, you're taking out our history, you're not taking out the Holocaust, you're not dealing with the Jews, you're not dealing with Asian history, you're dealing with our history. Our history is the only history that I see that you are eradicating, right? So now you talked about them talking about the Rosa Parks. They had one year they were saying one thing, and then they changed it and said something else. Now it's saying something totally different. If we don't start educating our own babies, right, they're not going to know anything about our history at all.
Period.
And that's a dangerous thing, because history is bound to repeat itself. If you don't know about your own history and you tell your own story, they can say whatever they want. You already got this lady who's a doctor, who should be very intelligent, calling us people of color. I hate that. We are not people of color. We never will be. But then we have to understand about America, the country we live in. They never change anything. They will never solve a problem. They will never, they'll sweep it under the carpet and move forward, but not really want to talk about that race issue, which is still, a big problem of America, but everybody want to ignore. Shh, don't talk about that. That's a no conversation. Right. No, that's a conversation we need to have, especially right now with them taking out, taking the books out and everything else that they're doing. That is a conversation that's due right now. But we as black people, we still sit back. Well, I don't know what we're thinking, but we never hit anything head on when white folk bring it up. When they bring it up, we agree or we say nothing. No, we don't agree. What happened to what happened to the Malcolms? Where's the Malcolms at? I'm still looking for Malcolm. Okay,
could I mention this? Because
yes,
you made a very, very strong point right there. See, I think that you know, this is a conversation that definitely needs to be had and often. However, the problem I think that some of us are suffering is that we don't feel any power backing it up. You understand? In other words, you mentioned, like you said, what happened to the Malcolms. These are what do you call it? Phenomenal moments in our time, in our story, and what 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 would what will bolster or put authenticity in this type of conversation is when people see, you understand, that same phenomenal energy pushing it. You understand? Because when people look out the way, oh, they're doing what? It's happening, just like what was happening in Stone Mountain and Louisville and all that. That was kinetic energy going on where you can see with your own eyes that these people mean business. You understand? And I think when people don't, when they hear the oratory, when they hear the conversation, you understand. And this is the other thing about when it comes to the intellects and why we need to really drive at empowering our inside educational development, right? Is because what happens with some of the educated that are amongst us that still have their foot on both lands, finch straddling for whatever the reason. It could be because they want to hold on to whatever credentials, badges of honor that they may have gotten, while on that other side, and they don't want to disturb the water too much. So let me say a few flame points here to get the melanated, the black attention, but at the same time, let me not say so much that it would agitate these other guys that are signing their paychecks, which in some way, I mean, somehow they may see some benefit in that. And because I would say, if you look at our efforts to support ourselves, are we truly supporting ourselves? When you talk about black-owned businesses, things like that, we need to get more involved in all of these things. And ironically, we need to do more than identifying that we need to do more. You understand what I'm saying? So here, I mean, we already see that on the onset, she's presenting this on PBS. So there's only so much you're going to be able to say on PBS.
Right.
You understand? You're in someone else's house. They're looking at you, tapping their finger like, be careful. Their hand is right there on the mute button in case you say anything that might, be off of the line of what PBS wants to present. Right there on the mute button, right? So she can only say, even if, let's say, I don't know the sister, but what I'm saying, let's say she is 100% pro-black, everything you name it, but trying to walk that walk carefully, it'll be worried to, walk carefully, right? Because she's on PBS.
Can you really be pro-black on their channel, though?
Exactly. That's my point. That's my whole point. So just by default, we already got a problem. That's why I salute all those brothers and sisters who strive hard, like including myself, who try to create our own platforms of communication, our own platforms for us to be able to gather and have these type of talks. But the problem again, I think there's fears in participating in solid 101% black owned, black associated circles is one. A devil seeping in the disguise of our likeness. It's not getting, it won't get the proper funding. It won't get enough funding, or there won't be enough whatever, or they might not like it, and so they'll hem us up. And next thing you know, the thing about a war, the thing about a fight is somebody's going to get bloodied up.
Yes.
Somebody's going to get scuffed up. That comes with the environment. The minute you start getting into a situation where you're trying to wrest yourself away from the control of your enemy, the enemy's not going to like that. try to lift the bear's arm off of you and get out from under there, the bear ain't gonna take that easily. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the way it is. And all this is the moment of authenticity. People in all abroad are really truly revealing who they really are, whether it be on YouTube or out in public. One of the things that I've been really amused with is just how much we know locally.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk to some of the people locally, you'd be surprised at how out of the loop they are with certain events going on. Like who, what, in prison for what? You'd be surprised at how many people are just not aware of what's going on around them.
Yes.
Yet, like when we deal with like the like in our town, it was it Trayvon Martin? I'm in Cleveland. I believe it was Trayvon. Was it Trayvon Martin? I can't think of the brother's name. They got a place down the street. Tamir Rice. That's what it is. Yeah, they got a place down the street. Commemorating. It's locked up now, but they had a place down there. My point is that when moments like these were happening, people weren't immediately associating these things with what it is. Yeah, Tamir Rice.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't associating it with systemic racism, with the fact that we are under attack as melanated, as black people in this land. They weren't connecting the dots. It was just, there's a bad time happening, and this happens to be the person that it's happening to. Because especially in this town, every day you hear gunshots. You hear something happen. When you turn on the news, a man and his children shot at, and he wasn't even the target. There was someone else that they were trying to get. They just happened to be walking by. You understand? Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio. This is what happens. So that's what I'm saying. The reality check hasn't happened yet. Many of us were sitting in our churches, we're sitting in our mosque, with cotton balls in our ear. And then we go out like we're holier than now. And wait a minute, the whole idea of going in there was to try to get that spiritual juice, you know what I mean? So you can get out there and combat the world. But instead, that's not what happens. They get out there and do whatever they were doing before they went. It agitates me sometimes because you meet folks that feel like or that behave like they're better than, like your concerns are irrelevant to them. Like, no, I don't want any black. You said black? Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. So anyway, the issues are deeper than meets the eye, but I can say for sure that there's not going to be too much possible to be said on a platform like this right here, PBS Wisconsin, or any PBS channel, because there's always going to be a grade of censorship. PBS knows this. They know what flames our hearts. They know what words, if you say these words, we got some black views now. They're going to be watching in now because she said this, that, and the other. So blacks like to hear that. Okay, there's the views. Okay, now that we got the views, pipe it down a little bit. Don't get too carried away. They might be seeing behind the camera. You know what I mean? Pointing at that red button, that red mute button. So they can only say so much.
Right.
Most of your authentic people are probably never going to be in that environment anyway. That's why, and I don't want to. I know this isn't associated with these guys, but that's why, like the brothers in Tennessee, that's why people are suspicious.
You should be suspicious
because we've seen
black people. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've seen this before. We've seen this gameplay before. That's how you got your quote unquote so-called first black president of the United States, because they played that same game, and they've been playing this game again and again. They've had, when you look at every person that they've exalted or wanted us to exalt in some way, their presence. Even though it was a black person, their presence was in support of the establishment's agenda. You think of like Jesse Jackson or somebody, and next thing you know, now we're called African American. Why are you calling us African American? What made you, out of all things you could have called us, or that we could have called ourselves, what made you think that? And then next thing you know, you find out some of us were already here ancestrally. Some of us were brought across the Atlantic, but some of us were already here. And by doing that, you've now cut them off from their native ties.
Mhm.
And so, okay, so that's why you did that. You
Exactly.
wanted to further drive the wedge of division between us, so that these people have now lost their distinct identities and whatnot.
Right.
That whatever they had left that held them on. Real quick, I was thinking about this regarding like some of the places in Ohio, right, that were sites of natives.
Mhm.
And I thought about what did these natives look like? And then when you do your research, you end up finding out that they were all melanated for one, and that many
Yeah.
of them had traveled the Atlantic
Mhm.
and had what do you call an economy going on? You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Had a trade going on.
Mhm.
So, but when you, like you mentioned, your words about the being called colored, when we get labeled these things, when we get these foreign terms applied upon us, we
Mhm.
lose something.
Oh, exactly.
This education system or this not education, but this critical race theory, the effort to drive in what they're trying to do in the administration is an effort to keep on driving that wedge further, so that
Right.
we lose even more. Pretty
Exactly.
soon, I mean, I don't know if you or your viewers know, but there's a body amongst them that try to convince us that we're just a pocket of
Yep.
ignorant folks from South
Yep.
Africa.
Yep.
Like there was a little area that all the Negroes came from, and we didn't have nothing to do with Egypt. We didn't have nothing to do with anywhere else. We just popped out of nowhere. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. And see, that's just another plot and a ploy for us to lose our identity, to lose our history. I want to bring on one more person. Who's that? Bakari, is that you? Let me go back over here so I can see. I can't see him on the other side. Let me go over here. Okay, come on, Mr. Bakari. What you got to say?
First I want to say, I heard you talking about CRT, and I heard the brother say it should be taught more. I ain't gonna tell nobody else about their conversation, but I don't give a damn if it's taught or not, in all honesty. I don't need nobody to teach white people how bad they treated our ancestors. I'm quite sure these white people already know. We're not the only ones that know what happened. They know what happened. It is something that we can discuss and teach our children. But as far as, I'm not gonna argue, say who teach it in school. I don't want to, because only thing is see, for me, like, that's why I never use the term white supremacy. Because when somebody is taught how bad they can treat another group of people over and over and over and over and over, the mindset, they become supreme. Words have meaning. So now they are superior. There cannot be supremacy unless someone feels inferior, right?
Call it white tyranny. White tyranny.
So the thing about it for me, right? So I don't go down that road. I don't go down. Except I'm not knocking nobody if they feel it should be taught. And you say, if you go to the school board and say, I feel it should be taught, my feelings can be out the way because I support my people. So I would stand there with you, right? So it was a lot of stuff said, right? And those people, no, none of them have the right to speak for us, but we put them in a position to speak for us, right? We put them in a position to say the things that they say because of like words like people of color, words like melanated people, words, because if you look, they have melanin. So when you say that, we're including everybody, right? So now, and I heard, because I'm gonna go a little quick because I know it's about this waiting. So, and as we were speaking, and he said Jesse Jackson, brother, let me tell you something, right? Jesse Jackson did not create the term African American. Our ancestors, look it up, go back to 1782. Our ancestors called themselves African American 200 years before Jesse Jackson. Damn near 200 years before Jesse Jackson was born. You can go back, you can look and see that when that term was first used. I know that's what a lot of people think, but it was not Jesse Jackson. I say, I give Jesse Jackson, say maybe he studied something that other people didn't know, and he knew that our ancestors were calling themselves that, so he brought the term back. And they used the term not to disassociate themselves from their home, right? See, for me, and I ain't gonna tell nobody, but for me, like, I have no ancestral lineage here unless it was through some rape or something. All of mine, I'm not saying nobody else, come from there. So I'm gonna always be an African American because of that's what my ancestors called themselves. Other people may be something else, and that is okay, because at the end of the day, we are still black. and that is the main thing. But as far as this CRT, I don't care if they don't teach it, because whenever it's taught, every time it's taught, who's at the bottom and who do we see with power?
But you have to understand why it's taught, Kari. It's taught because it's really exposing their system, the systematical system. It's not talking about really when you dive into it, it's really not what they're those are white supremacy talking points. It's exposing their system, and that's really why they don't want it taught. So it needs to be taught because it's exposing their system, which a lot of Black folk don't have a clue about their system. So it's not just for them, it's for Black folk that's blinded, who with the blinders on, to say, oh, wow, really? So that's really why CRT and we have to understand why it's really coming about. They're turning it into something that it's not. They're trying to tell you that, hey, your kid's going to be taught. It was taught on the college level anyway. It was nothing that was taught to our children. It was on the college level anyway. But you have to understand the bigger picture as far as why they're trying to take it out, So I understand that, but you have to dig deeper into it. And I want to get back to the lady, but anybody else that has anything to say? And yes, we were called Negroes at first. Remember, way back in the day, we were called Negroes before we were called anything else. So why did that have to change?
I got to get ready to go, but I want to make sure, before I go, I at least, go out in style.
I appreciate you coming. Yes, thank you.
This type of a conversation is definitely much needed. Mm-hmm. I can see that there could be a diplomatic aspect to having this in their education system. So that perhaps ones amongst their ranks could be more agreeable to the rest of humanity. Mm-hmm. You understand? And not a threat, not a danger, not a global terrorist. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, am I investing in it? Am investing that they know more about me? I'm more concerned, and like I said, I believe that is a concern. I believe that is something that a body of us should invest in, because there's an external, there's an internal aspect of this. You understand? Mm-hmm. And we all have a part to play. So I believe that there's a body of whoever amongst the educated amongst us that should delve into that and explore the proper approach with preserving the proper knowledge that they should know about us. Mm-hmm. I believe that we need to make sure that we have control over what that narration is, and stop allowing them to interpret and tell our story. Just like what the brother was correcting me on regarding the African American thing, Jesse Jackson. That's historical things that we need to be informed of amongst ourselves, because just like that's just one example of how many missing pieces that we have. Mm-hmm. Amongst ourselves, of unknowns, of misinformation, and so on.
And this is because we don't educate ourselves. We have to get back to educating ourselves, and that's what the problem is.
So I've got to get these children to the park here, because they're downstairs. I can see they're downstairs, just pacing back and forth, waiting for me.
Yeah. I put my email in I want you to take my email down, because I want to stay in touch, because I want to talk to you about some things with Grandmaster at FAC. I want to talk to you more about that. Take my email down so we can communicate. I got some things I want to talk to you about. Okay.
All right.
And I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Peace and blessings. Thanks for having me. Salute to you, brothers. Take care.
Bye-bye. But you have to, let's get back to anybody else. Sankara, what you got to say? You got a comment before we go back to the lady?
Not really. It just seems like there's a concerted effort for this society to keep our mind on other things other than what we're supposed to be thinking about. Like they want us focus on, oh, well, you should fight for, there's no voting rights right now. That's the big thing now. Or police brutality, which that is a problem, but they're steering the things we should fight for so that we don't think about what we should be thinking about, which is, oh, wait a minute, how come I'm not in power?
Yes. Why don't I have
they're trying to, they've been trying to stall that for 100 years. Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, we have to understand that they're doing a whole lot of distractions right now, a whole lot of them, and we falling for it. And I don't understand, when are we going to understand and learn their tactics? That's the problem with Black people. We are so used to them handing us our politician, just like those two Tennessee Black men, right? I don't even say the Tennessee 3 because it wasn't 3 because she didn't lose her job, so it was just 2. But we have to understand, those Black guys never once, they lost their jobs, for one, fighting for white children, and for 2, they lost their job because they didn't ever mention Black anything. They mentioned LGBT, elemental P, they mentioned white folk, they mentioned everybody else but Black people issues, period. So
Right.
you lost your job because you was fighting for their children. Let them fight for their own children. They don't give a damn about their kids. Let them get shot. Hey, go for it. Do what you do. But you lost your job. And you didn't even, and then you was glad about what? You was on there praying and preaching, but you were glad. But what happened? Did we get a check that he was so glad about? You know, because I'm looking at the 2 that they put in our face, and we have to understand, this is nothing new. Those are Obama's twins. Okay, they're not going to do anything for Black people. They've not even mentioned Black people. They mentioned everybody else. Go back to their speech. Tell me how many times they mentioned Black folk or our issues, police brutality. How many times did they mention us not, like you said, us not having our own businesses, not being able to get loans in our businesses? How many times did they mention us educating us? Never. So you fought for something that didn't even matter to me, because I don't give a damn. I don't care if they can keep shooting them up. I don't care.
Another Trojan horse.
Exactly. I'm just tired of it, you know. But I'm going to go back over here. If you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to go back over here. I just want to finish her up, because I think she is giving us a good light on what CRT is really all about. Hold on. Go back over here. Lord, I got to figure this thing out every time I go over here. Okay.
And part of the propaganda that the then Soviet Union is using is to say to non-aligned nations like Angola or India, you don't want to be associated with the United States. Look what they do to people who look like you. So that there's all these examples of lynching and dogs being sicked on people, failure to allow people to vote. So there is great pressure on the nation.
Right, we look bad.
To look better, right? Because the Soviets are exploiting this. I mean, you can find editorial cartoons, you can find op-eds all about, look how the United States treats Black people. So it's why not only did the decision have to come out in favor of Linda Brown and the plaintiffs, it needed to be unanimous. It needed to make a statement. So at that point, we're saying the problem is not biogenetic. The problem is lack of opportunity. That's a pretty good explanation.
It is.
Unfortunately, not long after that, Richard Nixon's administration, and in fact, I wrote a paper about the Brown decision in which I was able to find a statement from one of Nixon's part of his administration, H.R. Haldeman, who was also disgraced in the Watergate scandal. But you have Haldeman's diary in which he says, Nixon has told Mitchell, that's the Attorney General, to start filing cases to roll back Brown and keep filing them until it's totally rolled back. And so we have all these cases that come back. We have Milliken, we have Dow, we have San Antonio versus Rodriguez. So the opportunity explanations seemingly not holding up. Another example is voting rights, 1960s, right? So that's an opportunity. What is happening now? Affirmative action. This is a Lyndon Johnson initiative. And it has been fought over and over. The Fisher case, the Gratz and Grutter cases out of Michigan.
Let me ask you a question. Even with that, why are we're not moving forward? We keep treading backwards, but nothing ever is in place to move us forward. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand by us constantly replaying stuff over and over and over. It's almost like you go back, you come a little bit forward, then you go back, you come back. So we're not ever getting to the place where we are totally moving forward to really come up with any consistent plan. Why? That's what I don't understand. It's just like you said, it's a Trojan horse always with us, never really fixing the problem, never really head on, never any real results when it comes to Black people. They'll keep talking points over and over and over and over and never coming to a conclusion. That's crazy to me. I don't understand that.
So critical race theory comes along, and it comes along in the late 1970s.
And that's part of the frustration for some, is that this isn't a new argument.
See, this is not even something that started 2023. This was back in 1970. So why are we still coming back to revisit old stuff instead of coming up with some plans and coming up with what we're going to move from here? How are we going to begin to build? How are we going to put clinics in our neighborhood? How are we going to put schools in our neighborhood? How are we going to get back to, because we already gave you a chance. We gave them a chance to teach our children, right? Which is something we should have did, but we did anyway. So how do we move this thing forward and say, okay, this is where we are now. This is what we're getting ready to do now. We don't care about the past. We're going to move forward. And no matter, because you know you're going to be called all kind of races. You're going to be called, well, you're trying to take it back to the 19 whatever. Well, you always taking it back. So when we want to move things forward, it looks like we being racist. It looks like we're trying to stay in this 1960s or whatever, which they really are. It's always them messing with our minds to help us, to make us feel, oh my God, we don't want to do this because they're going to think blah, blah, blah. I don't give a damn what they think right now. Right now, what's bothering me is we need total separation, and all of this old stuff keeps coming up to keep us off focus from moving forward. That's really what I believe that the CRT is really all about, is to keep us focused on stuff that will never change. These people will never, ever, ever change. When are we going to understand that? Move forward into building. Okay, we didn't dealt with them. We've allowed them to educate our children. Let's move over here and let's build. That's the only conversation that we need to be having right now is building. What's the next step to get our own clinics? What's the next step as far as training the midwives, the pilots, the doulas, all of the stuff that's going to take in our community. And this is what we were talking about earlier on that little call I had. They were talking about all the opportunities that was in Africa right now. You have, the track system. We talked about that before here. They were talking about that. They were talking about the transportation system. They were talking about getting contracts with the government. They was talking about things now that are opening up, or things that are open already on the continent. They're moving forward. When America, Black folk here in America, is staying stuck on the past, continuously talking about stuff that, that's never going to come up with a conclusion when we're trying to be with them. We're never going to come up with a conclusion to the matter when we not focus on just us. Okay? It's time for us to focus on us.
This has been around for decades.
No. And so when people say they're trying to foment a revolution, I always say this is the slowest revolution I have been a part of. I will be dead before we have any movement.
Exactly. She just said it. The same thing I just said. She's just said that. This is not a movement. This is a stalemate. I don't know what the heck you want to call it, but it's not a movement. A movement is something moving forward. We're not moving anywhere. We've been dealing with the same crap that we've dealt with in the 60s. Okay, we see it's not helping. We see it's not working. You be over here. We're going to go over here. We're going to create our own everything. We're going to create our own police department. We're going to create our own everything that's needed for the ones that stand. Now, the ones that's going to the continent, you already got your assignment. Move forward on that. But it's time for us not to keep revisiting the past. The 1960s stuff, 63 stuff that we still been looking at in this 2023, and it's still no conclusion to the matter. I don't understand that. Why keep revisiting this old stuff? Let's move forward.
But critical race theory comes about in law schools. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where they held these critical legal studies conferences. Those were folks who said, the way that law is taught and the way that we understand it doesn't take into consideration the situation and the condition of other people other than people who are already well established. And so it was mostly around people who are poor, women, And it was a group of Black legal scholars, as well as other scholars of color, who said, you guys have forgotten about race. So the critical race theorists emerge in these Wisconsin workshops. And what I find really interesting is people always want to make it a sort of black-white issue. But I show people that among the major proponents are people like Richard Delgado, Marie Matsudo, Sumi Cho, Tomas Rivera. I mean, these are all folks who have done work in this area. They're not Black. They're trying to figure out how do we explain persistent, generational racial inequality.
Is that really what they're doing, though? Or are they always interfering, trying to make it about them? I don't see them. Every time I look at something where Black people have taken it, I've seen it to where everybody else comes in and want to take it over. Okay. They want to, welcome forecast. They want to come in and they want to take it over. They want to run with it. They want to own it. No, they don't come to share. They don't come to, to partnership with us. They come to always take over. I know you at work forecast. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take the floor.
Oh yeah, it's all good. What's going on, Cassandra?
I'm good. Welcome.
Hey, I had to jump on. You all on point as usual. But it sounded like that lady was like, she might as well have that little white girl from the beginning saying, "Oh, look at all these people of color and all of this stuff." Like that's what they sound like. It ain't no disrespect to her though, you know what I'm saying? But that's a part of the weakness that we got to get out of our soul. Whatever it is that's in our soul that got to be affiliated with everybody. And it's crazy because we'll argue with everybody else, but we can find so many friends from somebody else. But nobody has ever been your friend ever. You know what I'm saying? If we can't be friends with ourselves, what make us think that anybody else could be friends? You know what I'm saying? If you don't love yourself, then you can't love nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with CRT, I that's one of the things I love to do, you know what I'm saying, to talk about, but what even them, they're not gonna talk about the real truth about it, you know what I'm saying? Like how these brothers, like they came back from the war, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really policy, legal policies and stuff. But those brothers came back from the war armed, and they like, we not letting people come into our community. See, we think our past, like, oh, people say we not our ancestors. Well, your ancestors fought, you know what I'm saying? They
Hey,
knew they couldn't fit in with nobody else. And right now we think that we can, like, I think that's the illusion of inclusion thing that I say, but like we think that we can fit in with other people because they, what, they smile in your face or something like that. That's how they got you in the first place. Like, we have to learn from history because we the only ones repeating the cycles over and over, which is called insanity. Like banging your head against the wall. Like at some point, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna either die or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna get to that point until we can't eat, you know what I'm saying? Until we starving in the streets, then people will be like, okay, well now we got to do something. But as long as they think that they can fit in with somebody else, and you got I'm gonna say white girls teaching your children, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then you like,
yeah,
why don't we know our history? Well, why you think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
right, you know what I'm saying? They probably hired that, not, I'm just joking, Bakari, but they probably hired that white girl for an HBCU job, you know what I'm saying, as you were showing earlier, you know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, of course, like, why do you think that white girls, you think they're going to tell your children the truth, or they're going to teach them how to
They're
be
not
better
learning it.
slaves?
That's why our children not even learning today. Look at
Right.
these schools. These schools are damn jungles. And Black folks see it, and you still don't get mad enough to understand they don't need to be teaching your children. What in the hell is going on with Black folk? Go in some of these schools. It's a jungle in there. You got some of everything going on in these schools and no order, and nobody says anything. Go ahead, forecast. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right. No, yeah, that was it. But like, yeah, you're right. Like, and that's the thing, and we talk about it. If you have your children, because they make law. I'm not saying or whatever. You could do what you want. The law is really whoever say, and they got the enforcement to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? That's really the law. But if you gonna have your children in their schools, go to the damn school board meetings, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
at least learn what they're learning so you can teach them the truth. So they can see these teachers like, no, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? This is the truth. Like I was just showing that white boy teacher talking about, oh yeah, you look like monkeys and the N-word and all this stuff. And you know how many teachers that teach that stuff? But they talk about critical race theory should be banned, but they got teachers in there calling children the N-word all day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's always a double standard. So why do we, as Black people, we see how they are, and you still kept some Black folks say, well, now all of them all of them don't act like that. You're a damn lie. All of them do act like that. You just haven't seen all of them. But the ones that I've met act like that. So what do you mean all of them aren't racist? All of them don't have that issue? Yes, they do. Make them mad. You'll see the true them. So why do you want these beasts, these snow people, educating your children? When are we going to understand their tactics? That's just what I don't care how many history lessons we do forecast. We still don't change nothing. I'm getting to the place where I'm like, I don't even want to come on because nothing changes. Black people still want to continue being friends, continue mixing and mingle, continue marrying snow people that don't mean you any good. And we see it every freaking day. You just saw the 70, 80, how old was the man? 84 years old, who shot a 16-year-old in the head. And it took them down there how long for them to arrest him? And then the grandson came on there and said, he's racist. Okay, we know. You don't have to tell us that. We knew that. We know that. You're not telling us anything. So guess what? Why wasn't his house burnt down to the ground? I'm just saying, I don't condone violence. I condone justice. Okay, you in your home, you sitting pretty, doing absolutely nothing, having a great day. You just shot a baby, 16 in his head. Then you turn around and open the door and shot him again. Then he went to 3 houses, couldn't get no help. And then the one that did help him told him to get on the ground. The boy bleed to death, and you still feeling some kind of way, threatened by this baby, okay, because of your history, because of what society has told you about. It doesn't even matter why, because you wanted to. White, I'm say so, and this is how I can do what I want to do, and it's okay in America. When are we going to understand that? We know that. So why is he still sitting up and enjoying his, and then his parents come on there and say, oh, he's doing really well. How? The boy dealing with PTSD. You don't know what the bullet did to his learning. You don't know what it did to his mindset. You don't even know if he's going to have seizures for the rest of his life. You cannot tell me that this kid did not suffer some kind of something, getting shot in the head. I don't care if it was here. You still got shot in this part of your brain. You know what I'm saying? So what real damage do we know? We don't know. But you sitting up there saying, oh, he was fine. He's okay. No, he has PTSD. Guaranteed. Boy probably can't even sleep at night. Probably every time he closes his eyes, he's thinking of how close he was to death. And we still don't do anything from that. We're still not tired yet. We're still not making movements, still not making plans to move out of their grasp, reach. What? I don't know. I don't even know what else. I don't know.
Yeah, and consider they like I knew something was wrong when they sat out there and protested outside that white girl that killed Emmett Till's house, where she they just sat there and protested. What is that gonna do? It's been 70 years, you know what I'm saying? And then and on top of that, we used not all of them. This one time this white dude came on my thing and he was part of the quote unquote Black Lives Matter. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm for black. I'm like, so I started asking him the questions, you know what I'm saying? But then when I started talking about, well, what about the money that Black Lives Matter getting but not given to I don't know about that, you know what I'm saying? And I say, well, we want the end of their stuff, you know what I'm saying? We want to build our own, dude. Is that what you want? And I would tell you, ask any of them who you think is your friends, do they want America to be gone? And they're gonna say no, because why would they? It's a system that's designed to protect them. Right. You have to make your own damn system to protect you, or you will always be we're gonna have the same conversation until we do 300 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
And it's time for the conversation to change. It's time to move forward. Let's stop visiting old stuff that we've not. Let's start solving the problems. What can we do today to solve this problem? What is it that we need to do in order to solve the problems? Right? Because like I said, CRT, this is not a new conversation. It's almost like we keep revisiting old stuff, because that's keeping your eyes on the past and not keeping your eyes on the movement that needs to be created, the movement as far as what we need to do now. As far as we need stores, we need community stores, right? We need hospitals, right? We need to be birthing on. These are things that we need to do in our community, but we are so focused on critical race theory, which has nothing to do with today. I mean, I'm just saying it has nothing to do with as far as the newness. Okay, discussing these issues. Let's discuss it. Let's move forward. Let's fix it. Can it be fixed? If not, separate. Plain and simple. Separate. You still okay? How do you feel? Ask them. How do you feel about reparations? White folks said, "Oh, we don't agree that you need to have it." Okay, you sit over here. Black folk, what do you think? Some black folks say, "Oh, same thing." Okay, you go over here. Now the black folk that think alike, let's move forward. Let's move forward. This is what time it is. It's not time to keep on bringing up stuff that's from the past every 20 years, every 10 years, every 15 years, or every time there's a new conversation. We're talking about defunding police. You're talking about critical race theory. We're going back. You're talking about this. We go back to George Floyd. We're never moving forward, and we're never solving any problems. I don't see. Tell me one problem that we've had that's been solved. Police brutality has been since 1960. What? Not since slavery. Can't even say 1960. We're talking about slavery, right? That's where they came from, slave patrols, right? So what's new? What have we done about it? Nothing. But we still keep on talking about it. Okay, so what are we gonna do about it?
Right, and we got more problems now than we did then. And then, the thing is, we're like, and I'm gonna say with the brothers, right? It's far too many brothers that be like, what I'm saying, oh well, I done did this. I can't be on the front line. I don't care how old you are. If you're 90 or 2 years old, you're gonna have to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and too many brothers like, well, I'm gonna just stay in the back with, and do this. No, bro, like, it don't work that way. And then a lot of brothers be like, oh, well, we need to organize. We need to do this. We need to do that. Okay, so what are you doing to do that? You know what I'm saying? If you saying we missing leaders, why? That's because you ain't doing nothing about it. You are the person who's supposed to be filling in that spot. But instead, we just want to talk and say, oh, well, we need to do it. Well, go do it then. And I hope you, like, that's why I'm like, that's why I got respect for you. Because, like, we need stuff for our children. So what did you do? Go create stuff for our children. And it's grown men, brothers out here that'd be like, well, we need to do it. Got all kind of solutions and could tell everybody, well, go do it and show me how it's done. And don't just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we can't solve nothing, because it's too many brothers that's like, and then, oh Lord, especially with the white girls, but you know what I'm saying? That'll be as our kryptonite. But I'm saying, like, why are we sitting here talking about, well, y'all brothers need to do it? No, you need to go do that, and I'll help you, and I need to go do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's gonna stop until then. But I'll stop though.
Yes, but even with, like you said, I asked the question, where's our Moses? Well, our Moses they put in jail. Remember Grandmaster? That was our Moses. That was the guy. That was our Moses. Okay. And what black folk do? See, every time we do have somebody that want to step forward, we had videos about this dude every day. I was so sick. What in the world? What we got to say today about it? I mean, he was trying. He was stepping out. He was doing things different. Black folk got such a hatred for themselves that they wouldn't even support the brother. And now, wanting support. We didn't allow them to throw him behind bars, and we won't even mention his name. We won't even go visit. We won't even try to see what can we do to get him free. We just dropped the ball again. Do we ever take the ball and run with it? Why every ball do we drop? Why? What is it going to take for us? Because I believe that if everybody get together and everybody had gotten together, he wouldn't be in the jail. He wouldn't be in jail now. We should have tore America up. They touched our brother. I'm telling you, he had how many? I don't, what, maybe 1 million or not quite 1 million. I don't know however many he had. We should have saw them at that jail, and they should have been tearing up that city until you released him. I do believe that, and I'm not saying I condone violence. I'm saying I condone justice. There was no reason for him to be, and there's still not a reason for him to be gotten 7 years. But every time we black folk want to rise up to do something different, here they come. They're going to use their system, just like Mosby. What's her name? Mosby, the Mosby lady, who she had her own money.
Marilyn Mosby.
Mosby. Exactly. What happened? She did something with her own money. This is her own money. But you have to understand, this woman was trying to make a dent in their justice system, trying to do something different. She was coming against the police, and they bought their system against her. That's what they always do. So why is it that we know this and we still continue to allow them to do it? That's what I don't understand. How are we going to deal with that? How are we going to deal with black folks when we do try to rise? Here they come. Where is the barricade around them for us to say, no, you're not doing that. And we handle that situation. When are we going to do that? When are we going to do anything different? When are we going to, I keep talking about the think tanks. Let's put it together. We're going to talk to some people. We're going to try to do some things because this makes no sense. We need think tanks. We need something else to come up to say, okay, this is what we need. This is what's important. This is what we need to be fighting. This is what we need to be concentrating on, the areas of concentration. Okay, how are we going to take care of police brutality? What is the movement? What are we going to do? How are we going to start building our own communities? How are we going to buy land? These are things that we need to be talking about right here and right now. But we keep going back to the old stuff, discussing old wineskins is what I call them, instead of making new ones. Okay, you can't put wine in old wineskins. You have to recreate the new wineskins, deploy the new material into. But that's not what we want to do. We just want to keep sweeping it. You know, we're gonna keep on. Maybe we're gonna try to keep using those same old wineskins. Excuse me, but if you don't come up with some new material or materials to solve some problems, we're gonna be right here for the next until I guess black folk get eradicated. I don't know. I just don't even know what to say. But I we got to do something. We have to do something. And if everybody does their part, then I think we can make that complete circle. Go ahead, forecast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the only way that it'll, like, you know, everybody just like whatever you're good at, then go do that, but just have the right mindset with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's really the only way. But even what you're saying, like brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? Like when people go against our community, and that's the difference, you know what I'm saying? There has to be consequences, and I don't care who they are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why you will hear so many black people, like you said, they'll go in on the NFAC and Grandmaster Jay, but do you want, like, you know, people give me a hard time just because I put all my energy on everybody else, because you know why? I know everybody only got smoke for black people, including black people, and until black people hold those people accountable, I don't care if they black or white, and it's consequences. Once they realize that there's going to be consequences behind it, that's why they're scared to say, you know what I'm saying, you know, the people, they like the small hats and stuff, I call them the shysters. They're scared to say their damn name, but you would go in and say, oh, Marcus Garvey was a coon, or this black leader was a coon. Like, why are you even downing other black people, but you're sitting there and scared to say a word about other people? Why? Because it's consequences, and you're scared to death. Like that lady on the show you was showing, like, oh, she don't want to get kicked off the channel and not, you know what I'm saying, get paid or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, like, yo, that's a part of us being attached to their system, their money, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll sell each other out so quick, you know what I'm saying? Like, our dignity is like Black Friday sale on our dignity, because we would sell it for a heartbeat, and it's no consequences to it. And until there's consequences, then, you know, it's going to be the same thing, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Just like remember the black cops that got you know, that beat what that boy name you remember the black guys that got beat up right by the cops were actually killed. But we had so much heat for those officers. But when we found out it was a white guy, a white officer, I didn't hear. Did you hear anything about him? I don't think they talked about him a whole day. But they talked about those black guys for weeks. Found out it was a white guy, 2 white guys involved. You didn't even find out the 7th guy. The 6th guy didn't even get arrested. Okay. But I had heard one guy, the real Nate is his name, right? He has a YouTube channel, black guy. He's a police officer, right? I can't stand him. I'm sorry. I have no love for him at all. He's a black guy, and he needs his black card rejected, pulled, something. But he came on here and called for the death of those 5 black brothers. I have yet to hear him call for the death of that white officer that we showed on here. Okay, Payne or whatever. I think his last name was Payne or something, the right guy. But I have yet to hear him call for his demise, right? He never once said anything about that white guy. So that's, and we have to understand these, and people was backing this dude. Black folk was backing this dude. And I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, do y'all really not know agents when you see them? When they're talking about demise for you, but not for the white dude that was on there, the white boys that was in the cahoots with the other 5, I look at them suspect. But we have an issue with recognizing little black white supremacists. And that Nathan person is a little black white supremacist, loving some white women, loving white folk, because that's all on this channel, white folk. I'm very suspect when I see a black person with a whole bunch of white folk. Oh, you agreeing with him for a reason. That means you feel safe. That means you don't think that he's going to ever cause harm to you. That's why you can follow him the way you do and have so much, oh, we just so, no. We have to start calling these guys out, calling black folk out. That's going to have a lot of heat for their own. You don't have heat for them white folk. You need to just be quiet because it's time for us to move forward. And how do we move forward? We build. How do we build? We come together with like minds. We start building. And when we see a coon in the midst, we handle that coon. We handle that coon. And we keep moving forward. But we don't let them come and tear down what we built. I was listening to T3 and me, and this black couple that has just moved to Africa, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. They're a very young couple, right? And they were under Stephen Darby's ministry, and they were talking about we have agents among us, right? And I wanted to hear what they were saying, and they was talking about how all these black folk come down there using them, whether it's their platforms or just place to live. But as soon as they get on their feet, they turn. I'm like, see, this is what we have to stop doing. Yes, you want to help, but can we really be trusted to help? It's some people I want to help, but I'm like looking at them like, I don't even know if I can help it because I don't know what danger, you know what I'm saying? So we have to begin to understand that, yes, we're going to have agents among us, but let's start recognizing when they first come into the group, we recognize and we vet them and we deal with them. And until we start dealing with these agents, dealing with these coons, nothing among black people will ever change. Because I'm gonna tell you, we got a guy like Grandmaster that was at least stepping forward, at least trying to do something. We should have shut all them Negroes down that had their mouth on him. We should have came to a collective together and shut him down. But nobody wanted to. Well, maybe he might be. Well, show me. Nobody ever said, "Show me proof." You talking this noise? Show me. Don't tell me. Show me proof that you have proof that he's an agent. Nobody had any proof. I didn't see any proof. Did you? I never seen proof. All I heard was one Negro at this one. Oh, he's an agent. This one, he's an agent. Nobody had proof. But I heard a lot of us tearing him down. Who was trying to help you to be free? Who was trying to help you to change your mindset? But we had so much heat for that brother. But never any for Biden, who you voted for, black folk, who did the most harm to black families. You still tell me that was 20 years ago. Well, what has he done different to make you think that he's changed his mind? You gave him the highest seat in office, and he's not done anything for you, and you still want to say, well, that was 20 years ago. No, that's now. Because that dude has never done anything for black people. He couldn't even stand you. Didn't even want your kids to go to school with his. Thank God. Because I didn't want my daughter to go with his little crackhead son anyway. But we didn't have any smoke for him. None when he told you, well, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And black folk ran to vote for a racist that's been racist his whole freaking life. That's why he's dealing with what he's dealing with right now. Don't even know he's president. Dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's. But we don't give them heat. We don't ever have heat for anybody but the people that look like us. But we want to end on a nice note. Go ahead, forecast.
Nah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, because I might not be black. I ain't vote for him, so
I can't stand when I see him on TV. I'm just saying, I be wishing all kinds of stuff, and I'm gonna keep that to myself though. I'm gonna keep all my little stuff I be wishing. My husband be looking at me like, girl, I'm like, oh my God, just the sight of him just crawls my skin. It's just like, ooh. But
yeah. But now, yeah, you're right. Like, we make excuses for it. Well, I think it's more so a fear of being free, because freedom actually comes with responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to provide for yourself, dispose of your garbage, all of that stuff, and that is all a part of being free. And as long as you are, willing to let somebody else do all of your work for you, of course, that's just how the world works. I mean, maybe we don't understand the world, but it's been a long time, you know what I'm saying? And everybody is not going to change who they are. Like, if anything, we have to adapt to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and stop this smiling in everybody's face and wanting to sing kumbaya. And then once we get that mindset, well, I want to be on top, and I'm not gonna let nobody take it, because you know what? If we go build our own, they are coming. And if you're not prepared, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the point. That's why we have to be prepared and realize, Black people have always fought for their own, you know what I'm saying? It's now that we are fighting less than ever, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like as long as it's like at least one person still fighting, we still in there. But I don't know, it's just so much weakness that's coming out of us, especially from, I'm just speaking as a man, because it's not just Black men, it's Black people as a whole, how we all only got smoke for each other and no smoke for nobody else, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. Slavery wasn't enough, considering Jim Crow, lynching, all that stuff was not enough for us to change our mind about trying to change these people. And even to the fact with the sister with the basketball thing, Black people had to sit there and explain and was mad that white people was mad. You better sit there and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like, why are we explaining why a Black girl beat a white girl in basketball? Like that's how sick we are right now. Like, of course you beat her, you know what I'm saying? But we gotta explain. Oh, please don't be mad, Mr. White person. You know what I'm saying? But listen, like, you get them out of your stuff and know that Chinese girl. That's why I never showed nothing that she says. No, she can't speak for us. Go to Chinatown and say that to your people. Talk about those Chinese dudes beating up those Black women. And I'm gonna say Black women need to stop going to their businesses. Black men need to stop ordering the shrimp fried rice while you talking about Black women, but you going to getting their food. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's why they feel like. And then we got this I call it the John Brown complex, the savior complex, where we need a white savior. You know what I'm saying? If she was really about that, well, go. Or I'll just say, go make sure that you stop their business, or get a Black person to business in Chinatown. But she ain't gonna say nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she will or not. I really don't care. But wow, she can't speak for me, and she need to shut up. Go to Asia somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And tell them in Mandarin, because we already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe we don't, but they is not our friends. We got no friends.
Go ahead, Bakari.
Color folk talking about save me. Wasn't nothing wrong with slavery. We might as well start. A lot of us might as well start singing the Uncle Rucker song. See, that what they do. Well, when I heard you talk about Grandmaster Jay, what I say is, and I call the one name who did a show every day for damn near a year, his punk ass to Hawker Bay. And pardon my French for saying this on your, because you might not want that on your platform, my bad. But I'm sick of people. That's all he did to grow. He's amazing. They don't have to have any proof. You know why they don't have to have any proof? Because Black people want to believe everything negative about Black people. But then ain't none of them gonna get up and fight nothing. Yeah. Well, the prophet said we're not even supposed to carry a knife. We handle everything with love, But see, ain't none of them. Remember Korean Gaines in Baltimore, who the police shot with her little baby in there? Mm. She was spewing a lot of that Moorish American jargon. Guess what? Didn't work, got killed. No Moors did nothing. Well, she was all of them. She listening to the wrong Moor. So who the hell is the right Moor then? Which one is the right Moor? Stop. If you don't want to fight, that is okay. Shut the hell up. Get out the way. Move. Get out the way. That's all you got to do. But then folks like that gonna be an algorithm. They're gonna be followed. Because like forecasts say, people scared to say Jew, but they'll talk about Black folk. So the Jews gonna put them in algorithm because they talking negative about Black folk. Mm-hmm. They are okay with that, long as they can get, a couple of dollars. I know I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I knew some people that was part of it. AC. I've been out there with them before, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I literally saw him strip a dude down to his drawers, nothing on but drawers in public, because they say he was talking too much and they thought he had on a wire. Oh wow! Right? And I witnessed that, right? Mm-hmm. So the young man, He did an interview on my channel. But him and his friends, these people, 25, between 23, 25 years old. You know why they stopped? You know why they said they was going to stop, and anything they do, they going to do it without black people knowing? Because they say they got tired of hearing black people insult them, going out there trying to defend them. The one young man I know, me and his dad is good friend. This dude had a 3-month-old baby. He leaving his 3-month-old baby at home to go stand off with damn white militias in Kentucky. And the only thing black folks can do is talk negative about it. Yeah, they still do their thing. They say it ain't going to be a public. And I hear so many black people like, well, you can't worry about them. No, don't do that. Because they what we begin to do is hold the people responsible for leaving when they are the ones who's out there fighting, saying they don't want to be a part of this nonsense. What you need to do, the ones who's out here running their mouth and running people off, start to hold them accountable. See, you can do anything bad to black people. You can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do. But the people that standing righteous, they're willing to put their life on the line. And I know they made some white militias bow down. I know that for matter of fact, when they called me, they told me, I looked it up on YouTube. The white militias running to the police. Well, what we gonna do when they come through here? It's so many of them. The police was like, it ain't nothing we can do. They ain't breaking no law. If you're scared you're gonna get run over, you need to move out the way. Go somewhere else. I remember that. This. And the only thing we can do, we gonna say, well, he wouldn't bout it no way. No. See, we got to be able to put up with the talking because we gonna talk now. Make them shut up then. Make them shut up. Every time we get something going, it's always someone of us who want to come out, belittle it, and make fun of it. And everybody will listen and follow. Like that old snake Tariq. Damn it, I don't even like to say their name. Like that snake. Everybody will follow. Everybody, he can go get $2 million for a museum / club / comedy club / whatever it is. and don't care about that fake FBI thing he created. He can't care because he went in to destroy ADOS. So what we do is we have yes. So what we have to do, we have to stop, and I don't even like, because I don't even like fighting one another like this. But it gets to a point, even because we always calling one another out. When I hear people talk about Fred Hampton, and I'm not giving William O'Neill a pass at all. Don't get it twisted. But when I hear people talking about the agents in the Black Panthers, and then everybody their name is black, look what William O'Neill did to Fred Hampton. Absolutely horrible. I'm not giving him a pass at all. But you know what they don't talk about? Look up Tony Aoki, the Japanese guy who was part of the Asian Panthers, who that's where they were getting their guns from, who was known and talk about he worked for the CIA, and he laughed about how the Panthers would come to them for come to them for advice, and he giving them guns. All those white people, the only people we ever call, like forecast say, we have no smoke for nobody else but us. Had more smoke for Grandmaster Jay. They had more smoke than the police that killed Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand it, and I'm so tired of it. It makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense. But we still don't get it. I want to show you a video. I want to show you something because I want to end on a really good note, you guys. And I want to show you 2 videos here. Let me see. Hold on. Oh Lord, hold on. Oh Lord, hold on. Let me turn it up. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to. You know what? My thing is, sometimes we just gotta laugh.
Show it again. Show it again.
Can I say consequences of repercussions? So this happened.
Hold on. Sorry, y'all. We gotta do it one more. Can I do it one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
One more time.
Can I say consequences and repercussions? So this happened.
Oh, God. Now, hold on. Now, y'all know that was a girl, right?
A girl, hold on, a girl beat up a white boy.
I'm gonna say it like Marlo from The Wire. That's some good work right there. You put some
that's a good one. I got one more. Oh boy, I got one more. I'm just saying. Sometimes we gotta laugh. I'm serious. Sometimes I needed that. I don't know about y'all, but my thing is that's a female, right? He thought he was gonna go up there, and he thought he was gonna punk her out. It didn't work like that because my thing. I'm sorry, y'all. My thing is when he thought he had the ups on her, right? But when she picked him up and threw him to the ground, I know he would say, "Boy, this is gonna be a bad day. This is gonna be a bad day for me today." I got one more, y'all. I know this. I'm being petty, but I gotta do it. This is another good one. Boy, this one right here is my favorite. Okay. Oh my goodness. Woo, boy. Hold on, y'all. I got to get it. Let me start it from the beginning. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got to start it from the beginning. Now, this one is really super good, y'all. This is juicy.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Man, that one right there. I love that one. I gotta see that again. Hold on. We gotta see that again, y'all. I know I'm being petty today.
Hey,
y'all, you know what? We gotta do that.
I wish they showed the whole video. The white boy started saying, "Yeah, we cool. I ain't mean no harm."
He probably went to the hospital after that one.
He started apologizing and everything. I ain't mean no harm.
I'm sorry, but you know what? We have at some point we just gotta laugh at them because it's just so funny. But it's sad because we don't get it. We still don't get it, and that's what bothers me. We still don't understand how serious it is that those are dangerous people. They show you every day how they feel about you. Every single day, they tell you and they show you how they feel about us, and we still will go out of our way to protect them. Go figure. I have no idea. Go figure. What's going on with that? But I just had to have that little laugh, y'all. Go ahead. Closing words, guys. Closing statements.
Yeah, because I got to get off of here anyways. So I appreciate you letting me on, consider, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to you, Bukari. Maybe the HBCU won't hire that white girl, Bukari. Nah, I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. But nah, yeah, this was a great show, like always, considering, like, yo, that's why I love your channel, because I don't see too many people talking about the truth, you know what I'm saying, and putting actions behind words, because it's not just talking. So, you know, I always got a shout out to you and Rum in the Bush, you know what I'm saying. So much love. I appreciate you letting me on.
I appreciate you coming. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Casilda, I just sent you one more to show before I say my closing statement.
Okay.
I sent it from my other phone. You probably got that number. I sent it from my previous phone.
Okay, let me go ahead and get it.
I just sent it to you.
Okay.
I want you to see this little dude, how he do this big fat white dude. Way big.
Okay.
Stop, dude. Is that no, you're not. Hey, yo, no, why you playing fucking bad, yo? Wait on me. Stop. I got y'all. Please. Yo, please stop. Please stop. Hey, yo. Fuck out of here. I've been trying. Oh!
You see how bad now?
Oh my God, wait. You know what? This does not make no sense. They talk a lot of trash and can't back nothing up ever.
Stop, yo. Stop. I got y'all. Please. Yo, please stop. Please stop. Hey, yo. Fuck out here. I'm in charge. Hit me like that, come on. Hit me like that, I'm gonna knock the fuck out, nigga.
I'm sorry. You know what, you guys? I had to, sometimes we just need that laugh. We just need to laugh. I'm just
the
telling
size
you.
difference. Look, size different. Look, I want to say thank you for letting me come up here and speak. It was good being on the panel. I met the other brother. I can't remember. It was good meeting him. Good being on the panel before Cass and Carr and you. It was good the chat. But I want to say this. Since I did the video showing about that motorcycle gang there, I got a few people that got it. I got a few people that understand what's going on. So I done got me some phone numbers now saying it's time for us to get together and start training. They're ready to train for whatever it is we need to do. So since that was a week ago, since that 1 week, me pounding the pavement and talking to my people and showing what's going on, I've been able to get 3 phone numbers. So hopefully it can grow. We got we got places where we gonna go train. Ain't nobody. We got people where I got people with land. I got friends with land. They got friends with land, and they've already been told that we can come to their house, to their woods, and do what we need to do without everybody knowing.
Yes. I'm reading. Ask Why said it's funny, but it's not. And it is funny because if you don't know by now, if every Black person does not know right now that they should have candy bars and the peanuts to go with it, shame on you, because this is not something that's happening. This is not something that's happened today. This is not something that's been happening a year. It's been happening since slavery, okay? And if you still don't understand, read your Bible. You have Christians that you got Christian pastors, okay? That's marrying white women, who's now telling us it's okay, who's not reading their Bible, because if you did, Deuteronomy 7 tells you not to, right? But you still have Black men that's choosing a white piece of trash over a 10 Black woman. I'm just saying. Now that right there is sad. So yes, it's funny because it's a fact. We've been telling you. They tell you every day. I'm dangerous. God called them serpent people, right? That's biblical. And we still want to call them friends. Shame on you if you don't know by now who they are and how dangerous they are. I feel sorry for you. I'm just saying. Thank you, Bakari. But I'm just saying, I feel very sorry for you if now, today, you still marrying them, you dating them, you're sleeping with them, the nasty, they don't even take baths. What in the world? Okay? And to be a woman and you're not taking a bath and you're not cleaning some things up, I'm just saying. But you've chosen to call them your queens. And I've seen Black men calling them queens. How the hell? I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, call them what you want to. Go ahead and keep marrying them. But don't say nothing when you be seeing yourself hanging up on trees, because I'm tired of us acting like we don't understand. And I'm tired of us not getting it. Okay. We've said this more than enough times. And we keep on telling you, leave them snow bunnies alone. They're very dangerous. We're not even teaching our children how dangerous they are. But you know what? On that note, I'm gone. I don't care if they get it or not. But thank you, Ask Why. Thank you, Tuco. Tuco and Forecast, Bakari. Erica, I appreciate everybody that has come on here and has taken the time out to just hang out for a couple hours. Yes, I usually don't do 2-hour lives, but today is very called for. But we got some things coming up. Okay. I've got some more programs that we're going to attach to around in the bush. Been looking for housing. We're really looking for housing. Got another program. It's a CNA program that's hooked on, but we're getting ready to talk about with some people about some other things that we want to hook on around in the bush. So you guys stay faithful and do your part. Do your part. I'm doing mine. I can't do it all. So I know you see some things in the Black community that need to be done. Get busy, y'all. Get busy. Don't sit up here and wait for other folk to do it. Then you got so much to say about something they doing. What are you doing? Where your part at? Bring your part so we can make a complete circle, right? But that's it, family. Peace. I'm out. Done for the day. I've done my duty for the day. Y'all have a great one. Go spend some time with your families. Love your family.